Hot and dry conditions fueling a wildfire emergency in the west. The French fire erupting in central California near Yosemite National Park.
Yosemite officials have issued an urgent warning as powerful earthquakes rock the park, causing panic among visitors and staff. The ground is shaking more violently than ever, raising fears of an impending disaster. Are these quakes just the beginning of something more catastrophic? Join us as we uncover the hidden dangers behind Yosemite's breathtaking beauty. Could the park be on the brink of a major catastrophe? Yosemite National Park, nestled in California's Sierra Nevada mountains, has a rich history spanning thousands of years. Originally inhabited by Native American tribes like the Aichi, who called it Awani, meaning big mouth, archaeological evidence shows human presence in the area dating back around 8,000 years. The Miwok people later became the dominant group, with the southern Miwok occupying the southern and central regions and the central Miwok holding the northern areas. Yosemite remained largely isolated until the California Gold Rush in the mid-19th century, which disrupted the region's tranquility. In 1851, the Mariposa Battalion, backed by the state of California, entered Yosemite to forcibly remove the indigenous people, severing their ancestral ties to the land. Yosemite's protection as a national park began with the efforts of naturalist John Muir, who was instrumental in securing the Yosemite Grant in 1864. Galen Clark, who devoted over 55 years of his life to the park, also played a crucial role in its preservation. Recently, Yosemite has experienced a series of significant earthquakes, alarming visitors, park officials, and geologists. In 2024, Yosemite Valley recorded 236 earthquakes with magnitudes of 0.1 or greater, significantly lower than the region's annual average of 497. However, despite the decreased frequency, the strength of these quakes has drawn increased attention to the area's seismic activity. The first quake, a magnitude 4.2, struck on April 14, 2024, at the southern edge of Yosemite Valley, a popular tourist destination. The tremor was felt throughout the park, but did not cause significant damage. The epicenter was near the valley's southern edge, leading to widespread shaking lasting 10 to 15 seconds. Visitors and locals reported hearing a low rumble just before the ground began to shake. A more powerful earthquake occurred on May 6, 2024, with a magnitude of 4.6 near the park's western boundary, close to the entrance to El Capitan, a renowned climbing and tourist spot. This quake was felt more widely across Yosemite, causing buildings and structures to tremble. Items fell from store shelves and visitor centers, putting both park rangers and visitors on high alert. The largest earthquake in the region's recent history was a magnitude 6.5 quake 4 years ago, about 98 miles northeast of Yosemite, at a depth of 2.7 kilometers. While significant, it was far enough away to have minimal impact on Yosemite's infrastructure. On May 25, 2024, a powerful 4.8 magnitude earthquake struck Yosemite National Park near Tuolumne Meadows, a spot known for its scenic views and hiking trails. The quake was felt across the park and beyond, with reports describing the sensation as being on a boat in rough waters as the ground rocked beneath them. The shaking lasted around 30 seconds, making it the most intense tremor in recent history. This series of earthquakes significantly impacted Yosemite's infrastructure and natural environment. Following the quake, several rockfalls and landslides hit the park's trails and roads. Areas around El Capitan and Half Dome were particularly affected, with large rocks crashing down steep slopes, creating dangerous conditions. Park officials temporarily closed some sites for safety inspections and cleanup. Roads near the epicenters, including those leading into Yosemite Valley and around Tuolumne Meadows, sustained moderate damage, with cracks appearing in the pavement. Maintenance teams were quickly sent to repair the damage and ensure the roads remained safe for visitors. Some visitor centers and lodges also experienced minor structural damage, including cracks in walls and foundations, and items falling off shelves. While the physical damage was minimal, the earthquake highlighted the geological forces at play beneath Yosemite's stunning landscape. Rockfalls and landslides are among Yosemite's most significant hazards, given the sheer valley walls that rise about a kilometer, 3,300 feet, above the valley floor. The narrow width of the valley increases the risk, making no area entirely safe from falling rocks. Between 1857 and 2011, rockfalls in Yosemite killed 15 people and injured at least 85 others. The energy released by these falling rocks is immense, posing a severe threat to anything in their path, whether man-made or natural. In response, the National Park Service developed a risk assessment tool to evaluate the likelihood of people being hit by falling rocks in high-risk zones. This tool focuses on areas in Yosemite Valley where large groups gather, such as campgrounds, lodges, and amphitheaters. The assessment assumes that all structures are equally vulnerable to rock falls, as the force of these events can easily damage even well-built buildings. Yosemite also has a reputation for strange incidents and unexplained phenomena. Visitors and rangers have reported seeing mysterious lights floating over the valley at night, known as earthquake lights, believed to be caused by energy released from rocks under intense pressure during seismic activity. Additionally, ghost stories and folklore about the Owanachee tribe have persisted for decades. Some visitors claim to have heard eerie voices or seen dark figures in certain areas of the park, particularly near sites associated with tragic events like past rockfalls or conflicts during the Gold Rush era. Unusual events have been reported at Yosemite National Park's Tenaya Canyon, often called the Bermuda Triangle of Yosemite. Legendary climber Ron Koch, while camped on a cliffside, felt a mysterious force pulling at his sleeping bag. Although not dramatic, the experience left him unsettled, likening it to someone gently mocking him in the dark. Koch and his friends felt an inexplicable aura during their stay, and odd, unexplainable incidents seemed to occur. With decades of experience at Yosemite, Koch's connection to the area is deep, having lived in camp since he was 17. Tenaya Canyon is notorious for its hazardous conditions, including slips, falls, and fatalities. John Muir once fainted while navigating its treacherous terrain, and signs at the canyon's entrance warned that the journey is dangerous. Christopher Brennan, who climbed the canyon in 2000, described it as one of the most perilous trips he'd ever undertaken, marked by hours of boulder scrambling, waterfall climbs, and steep slopes. The canyon's eerie reputation is also linked to the tragic history of Chief Tenaya, the last known Owanachee chief, who resisted the Mariposa Battalion during the Mariposa Indian War of 1850 to 1851. The idea of a Yosemite curse has added to the canyon's mystique, with reports of shadows dancing on rocks and whispers in the wind. This foreboding atmosphere, combined with its tragic past, creates an unsettling experience for even the most seasoned hikers and climbers. Yosemite's diverse ecosystem, covering 747,956 acres, faces continuous challenges from geological forces like earthquakes, rockfalls, and landslides, which can disrupt habitats and endanger species. Scientists are increasingly interested in studying Yosemite's natural history and seismic activity to understand how the park's geology interacts with its ecosystems. Designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1984, Yosemite is a vital hub for research in various scientific fields and is home to over 400 vertebrate species and iconic natural features, including towering granite cliffs, stunning waterfalls, and ancient sequoia forests. These ancient trees, some over 3,000 years old, are among the largest living organisms on Earth, thriving in Yosemite's unique climate and soil. The Mariposa Grove hosts around 500 mature giant sequoias, including iconic trees like the grizzly giant and California tunnel tree. Yosemite National Park draws millions of visitors annually, making it one of the most popular parks in the U.S. In 2018 alone, 4.94 million tourists visited, spending nearly $495 million with local businesses, creating 6,684 jobs, and boosting the local economy by over $624 million. Superintendent Michael Reynolds highlights how the park continues to inspire visitors and serve as an economic engine, with every dollar donated to the National Park Service generating a $10 return. In 2023, Yosemite welcomed 3.9 million visitors, an increase from the previous year, but still below pre-pandemic numbers. The park operates on a $30 million annual budget and employs around 700 National Park Service personnel in summer, dropping to 450 in winter. During peak seasons, an additional 750 hospitality staff work in the park. Yosemite's iconic sites like Yosemite Falls and Bridal Veil Fall attract global tourists, boosting the local economy by generating jobs and revenue. Located in a seismically active area, Yosemite is influenced by the Pacific and North American tectonic plates. Although not as earthquake-prone as other parts of California, it has experienced significant seismic events, such as the 1872 Owens Valley quake and the 1980 Mammoth Lakes quakes, which highlight the park's vulnerability to natural disturbances. To mitigate seismic risks, the National Park Service collaborates with local emergency management offices to ensure infrastructure inspections, enforce safety protocols, and prepare earthquake contingency plans. Disaster relief organizations also play a key role, aiding in recovery efforts by repairing damaged infrastructure and supporting local businesses affected by drops in tourism after natural disasters. Yosemite's management is enhancing disaster readiness with comprehensive plans for earthquakes, wildfires, and floods, including evacuation procedures and improved visitor communication. Partnerships with agencies like the USGS help monitor seismic activity, providing vital information for park managers. Recent earthquakes have prompted safety notices, advising visitors of increased risks like landslides and rockfalls, and urging caution on trails. In response to recent seismic activity, Yosemite has undertaken extensive restoration efforts, repairing over 20 miles of trails and addressing infrastructure damage. Collaborations with organizations like the California Conservation Corps and Yosemite's ancestral stewards are key to these projects, with completion expected in 2024. I hope you enjoyed our video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more educational content like this. Thanks for watching.